Hello YouTube, De-bodgery here. It's been a while since I did a walkthrough of my Zap scooter. So it's going to be a two-parter, kind of do the front section, because you know, of the time limits that YouTube puts on how long your videos can be. You can't really do it in one, and I talk. So yeah, do this in two parts. Okay, in this video you will hear me rant about, you'll hear me rant about Nucular. Because I have two of their controllers on here. Actually, I have four, I guess, if you really want to be honest about it. The first two died for no good reason. Sent them back, and then they charged me for warranty repair, claiming that I blew them up, which couldn't have even been remotely possible, because the scooter was sitting just like this, up on its stand. I had just made a throttle and brake throttle tweak after having just come back from like a 40-mile ride. All I was really trying to do was widen the deadband from when the two throttles would interact with each other just a little bit, and so I did. Spun up the back wheel, hit the regen throttle, and blam! All of a sudden, everything's dead. And what happened was something inside the two Nucular 24 FET controllers on the logic board suddenly shorted out and died. Why it happened? Your guess is as good as mine. I have made absolutely no wiring changes at all before or after those two controllers died, and yet I've got two more Nucular controllers on here, and they now have about 200 and some odd miles on them with zero wiring changes of any kind, and they haven't blown up. So you tell me what the hell happened with those things. But hey, Dimitri at Nucular says I did it, and I'm saying, yeah, I'm gonna say that's not possible. And let me explain why, but he wouldn't hear it. I had to be at fault, so they wanted to charge me for warranty repair, and that really pissed me off. And of course, since literally the first time I ever rode this scooter after I started putting it together, I noticed a motor stuttering problem. So that was September, at least, of 2020, that I first reported to Vasily, their support guy, about this motor stuttering problem. And he has been obtuse, unhelpful, you know, dip and dodge, never fix anything, never address any problems, you know, basically been completely and utterly useless since September of 2020, which is now 10 months ago. Anyway, yeah, I can't ride the scooter at full power because of a Nucular controller issue that they won't deal with. Yeah. Anyway, I'm pretty pissed off at Nucular, and I'll probably rant about them some more. Let me talk about the scooter, shall we? Yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Alright, so this is the front wheel. I've got a chromed front fender. It bolts onto the same bolt holes that the ugly-ass original front, whatever you want to call that nasty thing, bolted onto at the top of the forks. But, yeah. So now I have a cast wheel that's 12 inches rather than 10 inch like the factory wheel is, and of course a 12-inch Dunlop D604 tire. I believe these are rated for 100 miles an hour. They have a higher load rating. And unlike the Kenda K413s, which are basically a slick street tire with a little tiny bit of tread on it, you can't use them in dirt or mud or grass or rain or snow or anything like that. They're pretty much a dry road tire. This one has got tread on it, so I should be able to ride the scooter summer or winter, no problem. You know, in the snow, through mud, gravel, whatever, and it should be okay. Because now I've got a tire with some tread on it. But it's not too much tread that these, you know, ride like shit on the road. I've put probably 200 miles on these tires now, and they do great. Actually, they grip better than the K413s did. Better rubber compound, I guess. It is a little bit wider patch, so that's got to help too. Yeah, because these tires are both wider and taller. So, they're not taller this way. I just mean total diameter of the tire is higher. And then this width is 3.5 versus, or I'm sorry, 4. Versus the 3.5, I think it was. So it's a little bit wider rubber patch that touches the road. That's going to help. Also, yeah, I don't know what Zap was thinking. They used a 160 millimeter rotor in the front and also in the back. But even with the factory setup, it provided marginal braking. It wasn't a large enough rotor, and so braking was, well, sketchy. You know, admittedly the scooter was only going to go 45 miles an hour at its top speed, and this now does 80, but even at 45 miles an hour, if you were going 45 and you were going down a hill and you crammed on the brakes for whatever reason, you were going to have problems stopping or slowing down. The rotor was just simply too damn small. So anyway, this is the largest size rotor that I was able to find for a scooter. I forget the size. It's like 9.5 or 10 inches or something like that. It's a pretty good size rotor. And I used one of the smaller rotors because the bolt pattern matched up to mount it to. So yeah, bigger rotor bolted to a smaller rotor bolted to the wheel. Works just fine. Works great actually. Front end braking is pretty darn good. If I could find a bigger rotor for the front, one that actually could slightly exceed the grip of the tire, that would be awesome. But this one's close. You know, at full braking in the front, I'm just slightly under the grip of the tire, which is a hell of a lot better than how it was originally. You know, the original brake rotor was probably like 50% of the grip of the tire, and that was for the K413, not these D604s. But anyway, yeah, bigger rotor basically made a difference. That's the factory caliper. Nothing's changed there. All I did was machine this, whatever that is, aluminum block, whatever kind that is. Yeah, can't remember. Anyway, so the bottom is shifted out an inch, and the top is shifted out about 1.5 inches. So it kind of gives you some idea how much larger this rotor is from the factory rotor, because those two bolt holes right there used to bolt right there, and now it has to all be shifted out that much. So it's a significantly larger brake rotor, which really, really improved front end braking. And that's, you know, when you're slowing down, what is it, 70-80% of your braking comes from right here, not the back end. So yeah, that was a huge deal. That made a big difference. Definitely glad I did that. Saved my bacon too. All right, I have added audio. So these are Logitech speakers from some Logitech 5.1 system. It's fairly common that the audio amplifiers burn out for whatever reason, quit working. But the speakers are good. Speakers are pretty darn good. Really good. So anyway, I found the full set of speakers on eBay for like $94. So I bought all the speakers, and 2 of them went on here. And then, of course, down there, you can see this little audio amplifier. Found it on Amazon for whatever it was, like $25. Fosse Audio, a ZK502T. Runs on whatever it is. Like, yeah, says it on there. 9 volts to 24 volts, and of course I have a 12 volt system in here, so that worked out pretty well. But yeah, that makes a nice sound. You can run it pretty close to full volume without massive distortion, unlike a lot of Chinese stuff. This actually does work pretty well. I don't know if the wattage rating is accurate or not, and I don't remember what that was, but it's definitely loud enough for me to be riding down the road and be able to hear music. Anyway, it's got Bluetooth built into it, Bluetooth 5, so it connects to my phone, no wires, and of course I've got audio, bass, and treble, and that's plenty enough for this little thing. I don't need balance enough for 2 speakers that close and basically pointing at me. So anyway, yeah, that works out super well. Definitely glad I added that. You know, like having tunes as I ride. Up on the handlebars, so this is another thing. So I used to have those iStock, whatever you want to call them, you know, bug antenna mirrors, which I always thought were ugly. But anyway, yeah, those mirrors, they would slowly droop down. I would adjust them. And basically the ball clamping mechanism wasn't very good. What do you want for cheap Chinese mirrors? But yeah, they would slowly drift down, and then I would adjust them back up again, ride a few more miles, try to look behind me. It's like, I'm looking at the road again. So they needed to go no matter what. Found these on Amazon. They weren't exactly cheap. They're, I think they were $60. They're all CNC aluminum. They're really nice. It's a concave mirror. It's a lot smaller. Goes into the end of the handlebars, so it, you know, deletes the antenna, iStock, whatever you want to call that, type mirror, and it kind of puts it down here where it's sort of concealed, like a lot of people like doing their motorcycles, and I like it too. I think it looks nicer, and it's definitely a hell of a lot nicer mirror. And being that it's so small, but yet it's convex, I don't lose any viewing distance. That's still all the same. It did shorten my my grip a little bit, but that's fine. It didn't shorten enough because there used to be a blue aluminum end cap on here, and I had to cut that off so that I could put this into the end of the handlebars. But it's still a comfortable ride as it is. The mirror doesn't get in my way of my hand, so I don't have any problem with that. That'll work so fine. And I like having the mirrors down there, and these are nice mirrors. Alright, up on the handlebars. So this is QC 3.0 USB power. So it says 13.2 volts down there, which is what the DC to DC is making. So anyway, yeah, I now can actually charge my phone, which can handle 65 watts. I can actually charge it at a reasonable rate now. The magnet base for my phone got significantly improved. The old one was, I don't know, yeah, there we go, about like that big. Weaker magnets, much smaller. It was fairly easy to put the phone on there and then pry it up from top or the bottom and break it loose. With this one, if the steel base is on here and you try to pick the phone up from either angle or straight up, you're going to tear the back of the phone off. Yeah, tear the phone cover off the phone to get it off the magnets. These are much stronger magnets and they're bigger. So now, put your phone on there, it stays put. It is not coming off. You have to literally slide it to get it off of there. So a huge improvement on that. Yeah, my phone, I bumped it once with my knee, my old phone. Dropped it on the road as I was riding around. So, dropped my new phone after I put it on the new phone on the old phone base. Just hit a bump, and it was heavier than the old one. It came off, broke the LCD, so a phone that was literally a month old. So yeah, this had to get improved. There's no way I was going to bust my phone twice. Put a new LCD on it, that's all fixed. But still, that was, a $70 lesson for a new LCD. GPS speedo, that's still there. That can charge off USB 2. There's the other mirror. Damn, those look good. Same thing over here. This throttle had to get shortened a little bit, to make that work. But it clears my hand completely. It's totally comfortable. I don't have a problem with that. Yeah, Nucular. I have ranted about you guys in another video. You suck. I am thoroughly unhappy with you. You have a highly promising product. Your support sucks balls. So Vasily, that's you. You've known since September of 2020 about my motor stuttering issues that are keeping me from running at full power, and you've done nothing to resolve this problem. So I'm really tired of your bullshit. And yeah, I'm going to keep telling people that you suck, that you don't support your products, that all you're going to do is blow smoke out your ass, and that you are completely and utterly worthless for supporting your own damn controllers. Yeah, you've had 10 months to fix this problem, and yeah, you have an interesting motor? Seriously, dude? That's your answer to the problem? You have an interesting motor? No, dude, fix your fucking controller problems. Alright, I'm ranting. I'm not happy with Nucular. And on top of that, I've had 2 of these controllers die, send them back to Nucular, and they try to charge me for warranty. Not cool. Not cool. You fucking assholes. Alright. I think that's it for this video.